mom and dad
yeah.
stores, okay? But they're all riding on our backs. And it's time to stand up.
I can't breathe. I don't care how.
And it doesn't do it. There's so much, you're a doctor, there's so much germs on these men. As soon as you touch them, that's it. More germs, more germs, more germs. You know, wake up, America. We're being bamboozled yet again, okay? And we need to stand up orderly, under the rule of law. We're not like Antifa. Sorry, but we're not like, thank God, many BLMs are waking up now and saying, no, wait a minute. Why are our people still incarcerated, but Antifa is running the streets? Okay? So thank God that they're waking up. They're waking up. And it's we, the people, coming together and saying we are the government. Okay? It's time for you to go. It's time for you to go. And we don't have to go to a court. We don't have to go seek another politician. We simply need to come together as a city and say enough is enough. Just because we haven't been there before in our history. George Washington was there. I was just in the city where there was a huge painting where it was the last British that Washington and his men had ousted from our country. Okay? We're there again, beloved. We are there again, and we need to stand up now or we're going to lose our freedom. It's all about the First Amendment. It's all about religious freedom. Our Judeo-Christian values are under assault, and if we don't come together, remove those, I don't know if you spoke about the Dominion machines or the Smartmatic machines or whatever other machine is in there. We don't have an election. We don't have a valid election because we need to go back to paper ballots. This mayoral election we'll have whoever they want in there.
So now we all know this. Now what? I'm going to do whatever I can to help you get elected.
Thank you.
Because you're very important. And you say, you know, and we ride on your business and what Desiree said. Yes, now we got to work to make it happen. You know, we just can't just, you know, like I'm going to go on September 6th, you know, but we have to, you know, be serious about it.
I think the important thing here is that even if this shouldn't be a matter of a segregated type of thing. You're vaxxed, I'm not vaxxed. I don't like each other. Oh, you're this. No, stop it. We should all come together, vaccinated and unvaccinated,
That's right.
and say, listen, we don't stand for this segregation. Like I said, on September 13th, on Monday, it's my day off from work, and I'm planning to go to the restaurant. And I'm going to bring a Woolworths bag with me that I have in my basement. And it's going to be a symbolic thing. And I'll start I'll show something. Where's your vaccine? I'm going to write a piece of paper that says this is my vaccine passport. It's going to be handwritten on this thing because I'm being nice to the owner, because just in case there's an inspector in the distance. And I'm going to show something so it looks like he's asking me and I'm doing something, right? But if they're going to start saying, well, that's not a vaccine, I'm going to say, oh, okay. I'm going to walk out and then I'm going to stop and say, on second thought, are you a document expert? And by the way, I would like to see your staff's HIV status and hepatitis. I want to see their vaccine, you know, what their medical records are on this. You're handling my food, and it could be a communicable disease. Okay? So we're going to break it down to that brass tacks. I'm going to say, listen, I'm hungry, I'm fat, and I'm going to sit right there, and you're going to feed me. And then I'm going to do a novel idea. I'm going to pay you. I'm going to pay you. And that's it. But then they're going to say, well, no. And I say, well, if you're against that, I suggest you call the police. Oh, no. But what I'm going to do is, this is going to, I'm going to say, I'm filming this. And then you will also hear from my lawyer for discrimination. Okay? A second ago, I could eat in your restaurant. It's okay. But now I can't because of a mandate. A mandate is not a law.
That's right. Come on.
Was it voted on in the city council? Not that we would still be against it, but was it? Was it? It's not a law. It's a edict from a dictator.
That's right.
Who's a lame duck, who started this wildfire in America. I knew it. I said once this moron opens his mouth, it's going to spread like a wildfire in California. Okay? Spread throughout the valley. Spreading throughout the land. It is spreading because people are being neutered. People, oh, it's my job. I can't speak out. They know how to do this. The left is very good at making sure they neuter people. Oh, you say something on Facebook, well, put a label. Oh, we'll throw you off. I have a Trump page that all of a sudden I had 1,800 members. I started in 2016. All of a sudden overnight, I don't know how the heck it's happening, but now I have 20,000 members and growing. And I have, in the last week and a half, it's grown almost 18,000 new members.
Wow.
Okay? I don't know, but you know, there's always a thing from Facebook, because I'm obviously the administrator of the page. It's always, oh, someone said something and we're throwing it off a community, going against community standards and all that. They are labeling us. They are making sure they censor us. Big tech, like I said before. Look what they did to our president. He opened his mouth, whatever they didn't like, and they threw him off of Twitter and Facebook.
And Instagram.
But yet the Taliban has a Twitter account.
Terrible.
Okay, the Taliban has a Twitter
Yeah.
account, but President Trump was a big terrorist.
You're excellent.
So it's absolutely ridiculous. So at the end of the day, we need to wake up, people, and realize one thing, that it's your rights. So vaccinated, unvaccinated, it's coming for you if you're vaccinated. Don't think it ends. Remember what they said. You don't have to wear a mask no more. Really? Put that mask back on. But, oh, I got my 2 shots. I feel so good. Woohoo! Where is your booster shot? Now, what do you mean? I don't want no booster shot.
And the booster
But don't
shot
worry.
is that.
Every year,
Yeah.
every year it's going to be,
I have someone that's really
Donna, every year it's going to be required that you get a booster shot. Where does it end? Because
Now.
what they're going to do next is going to say it's living on your money. Oh, the next variant's living on your money. They want to get rid of cash, okay?
That's it.
So
That's
they
what they're
can
working on.
know every dime you make.
They know
So
it now.
you sell something at a yard sale, we'll know what you made.
Wow.
Everything. This is about control. They're controlling us, people.
Communism.
Wake
That's what
up
it is.
before it's too late. It's almost too late.
It is.
Get your rights back. Open your mouths. Yes,
I did have a question. Earlier was a comment. I apologize.
Oh, it's okay.
Let me just preface my question with saying, you know, at this point, for the last 5 months or so, the DoD is on record stating the fact that they have been transporting a lot of these illegal caravans, both from the southern border as well as the northern border, as well as a lot of the transcontinental shipping that happens from Pacific Island chain nations to California. Gubernatorial candidate Rob Astorino posted a video of Westchester DoD aircraft landing those caravans, exiting and then making their way south into Bronx in downstate New York. As the public advocate, what are your plans to, and this is a big concern for myself, as well as a lot of the Queens residents, to remove a lot of these sanctuary city policies specifically, and also target the public charges that are being given to illegal residents?
So, I mean, the benefits, so we have this huge fund of money for undocumented immigrants, right? But is that what you're referring to first?
Yeah, but
Yeah, so I think, the
they're not immigrants. They're
Okay,
not
so
under
undocumented.
immigration policy.
Okay, so
They're
yeah,
illegal.
yeah. Okay, so basically, so I think, the money and the funds have to be used to help citizens and, citizens and the permanent residents and taxpayers first. Because we have so many people, so many citizens that are struggling right now during this pandemic and even otherwise. So that's the primary responsibility of the government. So I think it's, especially in terms of the caravans that you're talking about, we don't even know what's going on. The border is a crisis, and that's a humanitarian crisis, a financial crisis, an economic crisis.
How do we stop them? They're coming to Westchester.
Yeah.
And we just go there and sit there and say, I'm sorry, you can't come in.
No, it doesn't
So
work
why
that way.
can't we? Let them be arrested.
You could go ahead, open your mouth. You could do that. You could do
that.
that, but will they listen?
Well, I don't know, but we have to protect our, how are you going to protect your child?
Throw them out of office.
The
Vote
first
against
problem
them.
is the
This is
federal border,
horrible,
right?
and,
It's the federal, look, the federal.
State border. I would argue it's Texas and
Right,
Arizona.
and that's why the COVID rates have gone up. They say, oh look, in Texas it's gone up. That's because you're releasing illegal aliens that have COVID. They already document how many. I forget. It's a large amount, and they release them into these counties.
Right, but why doesn't
So it's
the
spreading that way.
governor, like Tucker Carlson, said, why doesn't the governor of Texas get,
National Guard.
the National Guards, say stop. And why don't the people who own property put up, you know, fences, electrical fences? You know, we have to just like, and say you can't come onto my land. You know, like why don't they protect their own land? You know, put up fences. If you come
My
here.
question was for the 5 boroughs, please.
Yeah, already this is local,
They're
not.
running for federal office, so
Sanctuary
Yeah,
specifically
right.
as they
Well, so the
potentialize
problem is, so they're coming, the caravans, aren't they being escorted by the federal government?
DOD, right?
Yeah,
So
so
our
this
military
is-
is being used, right?
so
But
that's the
what about the
problem.
policies of the public charges and NYPD not cooperating
Yeah,
with
but so
law
that's the
enforcement?
problem, so like the city can't, I mean, the city is gonna have a problem fighting the DOD, right? Like, so the public advocate by themselves, like I can write laws or I can make things more transparent, but I don't have control over the NYPD, even if I was elected. Like I wouldn't be able to, the mayor might have some control over the NYPD, but not the public advocate, so that's one thing. But the second problem would be,
You make up a law, we can get behind you to force the governor, the mayor, to follow these laws that we want changed, like the sanctuary. So, like you make the law and we can back you up.
so the first thing I could do is say that, you know, these things, we have to see where is the money being spent. So if the city is spending money on these things, then I can make that more apparent. I can look to see like, okay, where are caravans coming in? So I can try to find that information, if it's coming in through some city agencies, or if the state is spending money on some of that stuff. So the public advocate, I would say, has access to the data. So if it's, you know, if the city is spending money or some agency has information about it, the public advocate would be able to see that. So that's where I might be able to help. But as a public advocate, I wouldn't actually have control over NYPD. And then the second question would be like, can you actually fight the DOD? So what I could do is raise it. Like I could say, like, why is the DOD doing this? Like this is a big problem federally, that the federal border in terms of, you know, our southern border is creating chaos throughout the country, especially in New York, to have this going on, that something has to be done. So I could say that more so if I was in city government. Right now, my platform is more medical. But I could say, like, first, you're creating chaos at the southern border. It's spreading into New York. You're creating problems for us here, both in terms of COVID and otherwise, and that's having ripple effects on our economy. It's having ripple effects in terms of all of the other sectors that we have, and then we're using our taxpayer money to try to manage this and to fight it. So once again, it's creating a problem because we're spending money here, and then we're spending money to undo what we're doing here, right? It doesn't make any sense. So I could say that, you know, once again, we have polarization within our city, and it makes absolutely no sense. So, as you know, some of it is the role of the public advocate too, because the public advocate doesn't really have control over law enforcement agencies.
Do we have any other questions before we? Yes, Dave.
Public advocate, I would imagine, has to work very closely with the city controller. Out of the candidates that are running, who would be your choice if you were to choose one?
Well, so, I mean, I'm running on the Republican ticket, right? So I would back the Republican candidate, which is Devi
Yes. He was also on the same petition with you together with Fernando Mateo.
Well, I was actually, so I'll say this, so the way I got on the ballot is a unique way, so in full transparency. So I did not know about the Republican Party structure. So, so I'm a new politician, so I don't know the whole process. But what I did, you know, I told you how I got my COVID experience. I've been a lifelong Republican, so let me say that first. I've been a Republican for 26 years. I worked on Governor Pataki's campaign when I was 17, and I basically registered as a Republican the following year. So lifelong Republican. I just have been working in the healthcare field, so I wasn't as aware of the intricacies of like sort of county committees, district leaders, and all of that. But basically, I decided there needed to be some major changes in terms of how our city was run after this whole thing, especially the Child Protective Services comment and etc. So I had my baby in December. It actually went from bad to worse after that because having COVID, I felt like I couldn't move. but I still, was taking care of the newborn every, 2 hours, the toddler who couldn't take care of herself, my husband who was supposed to be in a nursing home, and carrying 2,000 patients on my back, virtually doing these telemedicine visits while I was recovering from COVID. And then basically 2 months after that, found out, I decided I'm running for office, this city is a complete disaster. So I I contacted the Republican Party, because I live in Manhattan, I contacted them online, and I didn't hear back, I guess because I wasn't part of the usual thing, and plus it might have been too late, but I was used to thinking that things happen in July for November, the primaries used to be later. So I thought, okay, so I went to the customer service desk in near City Hall because I work in the financial district. This is after I was negative and all this stuff. Passed all the quarantine and testing everything. But anyway, the customer service desk at the BOE told me, you have to collect thousands of signatures from registered Republicans if you want to be on the ballot. So I printed my own petitions, and I went to my friends who were healthcare workers who also had been through something terrible this past year, and then to them and their friends and families, we got the signatures, and we're in the process, which was horrible, because if you can imagine, the lockdown, the virus, and the 20-degree weather of March, so a couple of weeks into it, it's a little bit unclear because we're getting more signatures than we're not, but I got a lot of those signatures, by the way, in Brooklyn, so I'm familiar, yeah. So all over, but in Brooklyn, Brighton Beach, Coney Island, here at Midwood, we got it also Shar Zion, a lot of these places, so I'm familiar with a lot, Bensonhurst, all over, but basically, then the Republican Party, I think, because I was getting these signatures, found out what I was doing, so then I heard more from party leadership, and they said, Dr. Devi would like to help you, but maybe we can put you on as public advocate, so let's do that, and then one thing led to another, and so that's how I joined the team.
Yes, so to go back to my original question, so personally I don't like Devi, and if you were to choose him, it's sort of puts you in a negative light, at least in my perspective, and just by association with him I would not vote for you. So I don't know how close you are with Devi, and whether or not you like him, but John Tabaco, he's a true candidate for this position, so something to consider.
Well, thanks for your thoughts, yeah.
All right, so do we have any other?
Wait, why you have so much against this person?
I see
Because she
him.
has to, in order to get, just like you say, in order to get, it's like shooting yourself, in order to get ahead, you have to do certain things in order to get ahead. Nothing is
So Devi at the
where
moment.
is she,
Well, let's focus on her campaign and don't worry about Dabby's campaign, because at the end of the day, if you're running on the Republican label, you're running as a team. Okay, so it's not like we're running against each other and whatever inner party squabbling that it is, whatever that is about. Because at the end of the day, she's focused on her campaign. She's only responsible for her campaign. So whatever else is happening, I don't know what that's about. Don't worry about that right now, okay? Because she's running on a ticket. That's how that works, unfortunately. If you don't agree with it, agree with it.
and she's running,
So-
she's an individual.
Right, it's an individual thing. So with that being said, do we have any other questions or any other things before we thank the good doctor for what she's...
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let me just do a...
Okay, thank you. I'll pass out. If you guys
So
don't mind, I'll just
anyone's
pass out
interested
the
in
forms.
donating
I'll stay
to-
till the end too.
She'll stay to the end.
Are you going to
Anyone's...
say to the
Yeah,
end?
yeah.
Okay.
I'll stay till the end, so I'll listen
If
to
anyone's
the
interested
rest,
in donating to her campaign, please see her at the end.
Thank you.
Okay.
Because we need a Republican.
So
Okay, thanks
we
so much.
definitely,
Yeah.
we have two other candidates in the audience. I just want to recognize, Mark, say you.
Mark Szuszkiewicz. I'm running for City Council in South Brooklyn, so that is Coney Island, Bensonhurst, Seagate. Oh. How you doing, everyone? Good to be here. Like I was saying, I'm Mark Szuszkiewicz. I'm running for City Council in South Brooklyn, which includes Coney Island, Seagate, Benson.